听得见吗？听得见。Monday, do you turn on the interpretation English? Miss Seattle, are you ready to start the Dharma talk? Seattle? 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 Seattle, we can't hear your sound. Mm. Seattle?
Hello?
Seattle, can you hear us?
I can hear you, but I can hear.
Okay, now it's okay, Seattle. Just now we couldn't
You
hear
can
your
hear.
sound. Yeah,
Okay,
okay.
so okay.
Okay, Sarah, are you ready to start the Dharma talk?
Okay, am I ready?
Okay, sadhu, sadhu. Bonami Seattle and good evening, everyone. Good morning for everyone in the East Hemisphere. Welcome to the 7-day plus 14-day Samatha-Vipassanā Meditation. Hello, Seattle.
I can hear, okay.
Okay. Today, Venerable Kovida will continue with the Dharma talk on Bojjhanga Sutta Part 7. May we now respectfully invite Seattle to start today's Dharma talk, and may we invite both interpreter Bante to start the translation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
We will pay homage to the Buddha by reciting Namo Tassa 3 times. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Today we should talk about Viriya. So when we talk about Viriya, then we also have to know the Pali definitions of Viriya. Viranam Bhavo or Viranang Kamawa Viriya. So Vira is the root, Diya is the suffix. The condition and the nature of the action of brave man is Viriya. So that means when we have right efforts, it will produce energy. We can say it will produce bravery. That is why it's the actions of brave men. Anyway, actually there are many different definitions of Viriya. Now we should start with Lakkhana. Characteristics, we can also say here Usaha Lakkhana, supporting, exertion, and marshalling, driving associated mentalities. So that means when we talk about usahana, it means like making effort or exerting. Then not only that, it will also force associated mental factor to make their own duties or their own functions. Then rasa function. Sahajadana ubatamana rasa, to consolidate or to support. It is associated mental phenomena. So when we talk about support, then we must understand two different types of viriya. As we have learned the eightfold parts, they are mentioned like Samma-vayama, right efforts, and Micca-vayama, wrong efforts. If we have Samma-vayama, right efforts, and we can also say good efforts. It is good and right efforts. It can support confidence, mindfulness, moral shade, and other positive factors. So we have to understand this one, right efforts. So the effort is like the assistant teacher or like a leader of the team. The leader himself also has to perform his duties. He also has to take care of his followers working properly. If they cannot work properly, he must help. Similarly, now viriya, the efforts, will support or help associated mental factors. For example, when we have confidence, when confidence associated with viriya, it will become stronger. Similarly, mindfulness. When our mindfulness is supported by viriya, it will become stronger. Moral shame, moral fear, loving kindness, or all other positive factors. When it arises together with efforts, when they are supported by efforts, then it will become stronger. As we know, wrong efforts, Micca-vayama. If it is bad efforts or wrong efforts, it can also support ignorance, moral shamelessness, hatred, and other negative factors. So wrong effort is also powerful. Sometimes we have very strong ignorance. Supported by effort, it becomes stronger. Similarly, we may have moral shamelessness. Then, supported by wrong efforts, it becomes stronger. Similarly, hatred. Supported by wrong efforts, it will become stronger. There are many other negative things, such as greed, pride, remorse, many other negative factors or negative mentalities. When they are supported by wrong efforts, they become stronger. So briefly, viriya can support their associated mental factors, associated mental qualities. That is why it makes other mental factors stronger. So again, we have to move Bojjhanga manifestation. Asansidana Bhava Bojjhanga as non-collapse. Actually, Sansidana also can be considered as hesitate or maybe unwilling to do something. Here it mentions asansidana, no hesitation to do actions. This is called Bojjhanga. So that means whatever then happened, he will continue without coming back. Then another thing, Bojjhanga, proximate cause. Some we go, yoniso, Bojjhanga, ojana do, some we got Bojjhanga. A sense of spiritual urgency is the proximate cause, because the words bestowed or bestowed his tribes wisely. So that means we need sense of urgency. If we have sense of urgency, then we may be very diligent, we may practice well. As we have known Bodhisattva's case, Bodhisattva saw 4 great omens. After that, he renounced. Also here for your information, I should give a little bit more in detail about Bodhisattva's sense of urgency. When seeing an omen, he felt sense of urgency. So in his palace, he also can see his father every day. His father is also getting older and older, but not that ugly. But on the way, he saw an old man, very weak, walking very slowly, as the body is trembling. Then using walking stick. On seeing that, he felt very strong sense of urgency. All people have this kind of nature. One more thing, when we say sense of urgency, it's also called jnana-bhaya, the fear produced by knowledge or associated with knowledge or wisdom. Mostly when we have fear, when we fear of something, then we get lost our wisdom. But in the case of samvika, sense of urgency, it opened our wisdom. He found many ways to release from aging. Second time, he saw a sick man. He could not walk properly. Similar who has many excrements in his body. Even he cannot clean his body. When seeing that, Bodhisattva feel very strong sense of urgency. He found many ways to release from sickness. Finally, a dead man. So the corpse carried by 4 persons. When seeing that, he realized there is the end of the life, death moment. When we have life, we also have death moment, the end of the life. So if there's no more rebirth, no more death, then he trying to find many different ways to release from death. On seeing a bhikkhu, the last omen, he renounced the words. Okay, here I should elaborate a little bit more about the power of sense of urgency. When seeing an omen, he can release from the pride of youth. So when we are young, we may be proud of our youth. The second one, when seeing a sick man, he can overcome the pride of health. When we are healthy also, we can be proud of our health. Then the last one, when seeing a dead body, a corpse, he could overcome the pride of longevity. So that means when we have a sense of urgency, we may not be arrogant. We may not have pride. But when we have pride and arrogance, that means we don't have really sense of urgency. Now we have the second blossoming cause. Riya Ramba Watu Padatananwa, or one for the initiations of energy, or a ground for arousing energy. So these are the ground for arousing energy: journey, sickness, activity, or famine. Okay, when we talk about journey, before living somewhere, we have to prepare many different things. We cannot meditate. When we're coming back, we get tired already, we cannot meditate. So in this case, we can also say an excuse. Because of journey, we cannot meditate. Then when we are diligent, I must go for a long journey. On the way, I may not be able to meditate. Now is the time to meditate. On the way back, when we arrive at our destination, now we may think, I have been to a very long journey. There I cannot meditate. Now my journey is over. I can start meditating. They will be diligent. This is also called ground for arousing energy. Another one is a sickness. So when we have sickness, we cannot meditate well, or our body become weak. This also can be one of the excuses also. Not only that, when we recover from sickness, we may also have another excuses. I just recovered from my sickness. I should rest a little bit more. When we have this kind of excuses, then it will be a little bit difficult for practice. For a diligent person, when we have sickness, I'm sick. Now, having sense of urgency, he may practice more diligently. Now, recovering from sickness, he may practice more again. When we have this kind of mind, this kind of practice, we call this a ground for arousing sense of urgency. Again, activities. Actually, although I write in English activities, it also can cover projects or plans. But sometimes we have to do very heavy job, such as construction. So when we are working for constructions, we have to arrange this and that. We cannot meditate. That is why it also gave me an excuse. I'm busy with construction, I cannot meditate. For diligent person, then they may spare their time, they may manage their time, then they may meditate, although they have very heavy job. After finishing the activities or after finishing the heavy job or plans or projects, now also we get tired. That's why we may have some excuses. It's so tired. I'm working for this project, that project, these activities, that activities. Then later, we cannot meditate. So for diligent people, although they have to do many different things, they will continue meditating. Therefore, for me, so when we have enough foods, our body strength will be okay. We can sustain our body strength, body energy. Then when we don't have enough foods, we don't have enough energy to meditate, then we can be lazy also. Sometimes having a sense of urgency, now it's for me. Then I should practice more. Having sense of urgency, he may practice with strong effort. So these are ground for arousing and energy. So these factors can also be excuses for laziness. And now we have to move the next part. Sama aradham sabha sambate mulam hoti ti tatavang. That is, anything that stirs one to vigorous action, when righteously initiated, it should be regarded as the root of all attainment. If we summarize, the right efforts, continuous efforts, is the root of all types of attainments. Whatever attainment we wish to have, we must be energetic, we must practice diligently, and we can achieve anything we like. So we can also understand effort as two different parts. The first one is bodily energy, bodily efforts. Second one is mental energy, mental efforts. It is a body energy and a mental energy. So we also have to understand about Arata Virya. It is an active mind to achieve the aim or to face whatever difficulty we encounter. Every single improvement, we have to encounter many difficulties. We have to overcome many difficulties. After overcoming many difficulties, then we are successful. In your life, you can recall how many difficulties you have passed. If you have passed many difficulties, you have been successful many times. If you have very little difficulty that you have overcome, that means you have very less success. That is why we must be energetic to face the difficulty whenever we encounter in our practice. So I have already mentioned before, Vidanam Kammam, the actions of brave men. With the right efforts produce bravery, not being afraid of responsibility and difficulties. This is called right effort. For example, we have to do many different things, such as we have to take care of our families, our houses, and also many properties. We also have to protect ourselves. We may have many duties, many responsibilities. But we have additional one. That means to improve our meditations. If we think it's our responsibility, then if we are brave enough to face all the difficulties when we are practicing, we can improve our meditation. Mostly people think meditation is easy, right? But now you can practically experience it's not that easy. Though whenever you have some improvement, you encounter some difficulty. It's the nature of practice. So if we are not afraid of facing difficulties, that means we have right efforts. Then if one will give lame excuse, if lack of virya, that means if we don't have body efforts, body energy, or mental energy, we may have a lot of excuses. Then it's so difficult, I don't wish to do, I cannot practice, for example, right? That even some meditators, they also say, Anapanas is so difficult, then I prefer Vipassana. Actually, meditation is not what we like or what we dislike. It's what we must. For example, when we have sickness, then the doctor may prescribe medicine. Whether it's bitter or sweet, we must take it to cure our sickness. Similarly, as long as we have defilements, we have to face many difficulties. We have a responsibility to meditate, to overcome all the defilements, or to uproot the defilements. That is why when we talk about viriya, we must be brave enough to face difficulties whenever we encounter in our practice. Okay, now, again, we have 4 types of efforts according to Buddha's teaching. Okay, what are the 4? The first one, to stop all habits of unwholesome actions. Although we say to stop all habits of unwholesome actions, but it's not that easy. So we have to do many different things to stop. For example, if you have habit of smoking, then you have to stop it. Not that easy. Your mind must be powerful enough to stop it. Not only that, sometimes you also need your body energy to stop it. You have to train your body and the mind to stop all habits, bad habits. Then 2, to prevent oneself from unwholesome actions one has never done before. So in the samsara, we have accumulated many unwholesome deeds. So in the present life, there are many wholesome deeds, many unwholesome deeds we have never done. For example, if you have never smoked, don't try it. If you have never taken any intoxicants, don't do it. There are many new things we have never tried. Don't try it. This is called to prevent ourselves from unwholesome actions. Sometimes if we do the same mistake again and again, finally it becomes habit. It becomes bad habit. That's why if we don't start any new habit, it will be better, especially bad habits, right? If we don't start it, the new bad habit, it will be much better. If we summarize the first 2, it concerns with unwholesome, akusala. So when we have unwholesome deeds, it will make our mind impure. That's why we must do 2 different things, to prevent and to stop. 3, to do wholesome actions one has never done. In our life, there are many wholesome deeds we have never done before. For example, to establish concentration, the Buddha explained many different meditation subjects. Then, for example, Kasina, we have never tried. Okay, we can try it. Asavas, if we have never tried, we can try it. Metta meditation, if we have never tried, we can try it. So there are many different meditation subjects given by the Buddha. Even for Vipassana practitioners, the Buddha gave many different meditation subjects for many different people, even for Vipassana. Since we cannot know our temperament, our maturity, then we must try all the methods. We cannot know which one is the most suitable for us. Sometimes people think that the subject they like is suitable for us, suitable for them. It is not true. The subject that can make our mind improve, we can say is suitable. So that means suitability does not come from like and dislike. It just comes from improvement. Okay, the main thing is there are many unwholesome deeds we have done in the past. We have done all types of unwholesome deeds in the past, in the samsara. But in the samsara, there are many wholesome deeds we have never tried. That's why we are in the samsara. If we are trying all the methods, if we have achieved all types of wholesome deeds, we will become arhat. Because path of fruition knowledge, path also wholesome. Vipassana also wholesome. That is why to do wholesome actions we have never done before is also right effort. Then to maintain and improve the wholesome actions, at least we must be able to maintain the meditation we are doing now. For example, if you have habit of meditating once a week, okay, maintain this quality. If you have habit of meditating once a day, maintain this quality. So if you cannot improve, you must maintain. If you can maintain well, sometimes you can also improve naturally. That's why in the case of Anapanasati, I recommend to have maintaining efforts. If you have maintaining efforts, you can improve naturally. So if we summarize, there are 4 types of efforts. If we say a little bit easier way, there are only 2 efforts: to do wholesome, not to do unwholesome. So the first 2 related to unwholesome. The second 2 related to wholesome, good and bad things. So when we are going to do good things, we must be diligent. We must exert more efforts. When we are going to do unwholesome, maybe we should not be that much energetic. Now, in modern society, it's very messy. We are very eager to do unwholesome. Then we have less energy when we are going to do wholesome. We may have many excuses. So let me, sometimes we also find many excuses according to Buddha's teaching, right? Buddha say like that, that's why I cannot do this one. The Buddha say like that, I cannot do that one. But some of them are just excuses to be lazy, to reduce our efforts. That means we dare not encounter any difficulty. We are not ready to face many difficulties. That's why we have many excuses. So as long as we have excuses, our mind power is not strong enough. Our will is not strong enough. Okay, now we have to move to the next one. Arouse energy. So here with the Pali words, Arambata, Nikabata, Yunjata Buddha Sasane, Dunata Machuna Sena, Nala Garawa Kunjaro. This is very popular, a well-known stanza about Vidya. Arouse energy efforts. Make a sustained efforts in order to overcome laziness, and make an extra efforts in order to achieve the aim in the Buddha dispensation. Destroying the army of death as if an elephant destroys a hat made of reeds. This is the stanza from Buddha's teaching. Arouse energy efforts. So in the very beginning of practice, we may be energetic before encountering difficulty. So when we encounter difficulty, then we are not sure. We will continue or stop. That's when the second statement, make a sustained efforts in order to overcome laziness. When we encounter difficulty, we need sustained efforts. Sometimes we cannot sustain, then we may give up. Another thing is that make an extra efforts in order to achieve the aim in this Buddha dispensation. So after overcoming many difficulties, trying to achieve our aim. For example, if you wish to attain jhana, trying your best. No excuses. Then if you can achieve, then there will be another target. to attain Nibbana or to attain insight knowledges. Try it again. So if we have these three efforts, initial efforts, sustained efforts, and also extra efforts, then it will be possible for us to achieve whatever thing we like. The Buddha also said, if we are diligent, everything is possible to achieve. Now here, I also mentioned, also in the stanza, destroying the army of death. Actually, if we say the army of death, it's also called Mara's armies. If we are diligent, we can also destroy Mara's armies. I have said, Mara army means defilements. In the Pali canons, when you read the Pali words, especially in Samatha-Vipassanā Sutta, mention Atapi Samajano, Atapi. This is also efforts. That means it can destroy Mara's armies. That's what we call Atapi. It's also efforts. The main thing is, if we are diligent, we can destroy Mara's armies. We can destroy the army of death. He also given simile. As if an elephant destroys, it has metal reeds. You can imagine, elephant can destroy even very big trees. But here, the head metal reeds is very easy for him. So we may encounter many difficulty. Then, if we are diligent enough, all the difficulty will be very easy. Then, like an elephant destroying metal and the head metal reeds. Okay, now we have to move to the next one. First, weak efforts. One was taught in the very beginning. Actually, there are many meditators. They come to PATVDH. When they arrived at PATVDH, when I give meditation instructions, I also remind them that for 3 days, you may encounter many difficulties. Drowsy, thoughts, pain. Then, if you can overcome these difficulties, later you will have improvement. So there are many meditators. Only the first 2 or 3 days they run away. They give up. They dare not face that kind of difficulty. So that means if we are really diligent or if we have very strong efforts, we will not give up easily. If we give up easily, that means we have very weak efforts, very weak mental energy, very weak mind power. That's why we stop easily. We give up easily. With medium efforts, one will stop on the halfway. Then in your life, you may stop many things in the halfway, on the halfway. In my life also, there are many things I stop on the halfway. I cannot complete many different things. Even in my education, I stop some of them. I have learned many things halfway already, but I stop learning. Just go and meditate. Sometimes I also stop in the very beginning. In my education also, there are some part of education I start after I stop totally. Okay, for example, I just learned Japanese for only 1 week. I know it's very difficult for me. I stop learning. I'm also trying to learn some Chinese. Very difficult for me, so I stop learning. So anyway, the main thing is, if we have very weak efforts, then if our mind power is not so strong, we will stop in the very beginning. We will not continue. If we have medium efforts on the halfway, we may stop. So this is the way we have to test our efforts. That means all the difficulty are testing our mental energy, our efforts. So if we are scared of, if we are afraid of challenges, afraid of difficulties, then we cannot be successful. We are not strong enough to achieve our aim. Okay, now, with great efforts, one will achieve the aim. So that means if our efforts is strong enough, we can achieve whatever thing we expect. We will continue our practice until we achieve our aim. So in the case of Bodhisattva, if we have some target, or if we aim, or if we make some ambitions or goal, if he has already set a goal, he will try to get that one. He's very diligent. Okay, now here, without acquiring efforts and skill, one will waste his time. Later, he will regret compared with others. So that means sometimes we don't make efforts properly. We don't try to be skillful. We just waste our time. Later, we will regret compared with other people. That means, for example, we have many classmates. I also have many classmates. Some of my classmates are very strong in education. They are better than me. Why they are better? They're trying very hard to achieve. Not only that they are very skillful in learning, then they can study well. They can achieve higher education. So compare with him, compare to their educations, then if we feel guilty or regret, that means we are lazy. Okay, I should say some comparison between my friend and me. I have one of my friends in our school. We studied together. We also finished Dhammasteriya together. We also get Dhammasteriya degree the same year, the same day. Then, after our graduation, he left. I continued studying English. 6 months passed. Now he also came back to the monastery. We see each other. We saw each other. Actually, he just lived in low profile. He didn't talk about his ability too much. I also know his nature. I also know he's very intelligent. So I asked, Pandit, where are you going within these 6 months? He said, I'm learning Samlikaya. He just said very simple thing, I'm learning Samlikaya. Then which kind of Nikaya? I also know he's learning something. Then he said, okay, I'm learning some part of Vinaya Pitaka. He just said very simple things. Later, I asked many different ways to say all the things he is learning. Finally, he also admits he has passed the first part of Vinaya Pitaka. So when they are going to join Tipitaka examination, for Vinaya, we have two different parts, the first part and the second part. If they pass the first part, we call Upato Vibhanga Dara. So within 6 months, he finished Upato Vibhanga. So he's my friends. Actually, I'm proud of him. Another thing, actually, I also feel a little bit guilty. Okay, if I learn like him, I can also be like this. Then, okay, the problem is I can speak English within 6 months. Then he also proud of me. Right? Oh, you can speak English within 6 months. You know? That means we make efforts. Both of us are making efforts, but different level, different conditions. He's learning Buddha teaching. I'm learning English. So that means both of our knowledge are useful. Of course, his knowledge is better, right? He learned Buddha teaching. He can memorize Vinaya Pitaka. He's better than me. Anyway, the main thing is, I also feel a bit guilty, you know? If I study like him, I can also be like him. Like he also openly talked to me. Okay, He also, I cannot be like you. He also say like that, right? That means he cannot study English. That's why he say, I cannot be like you. Anyway, the main thing is, if we don't have enough efforts, later we may regret compared with other people. Some of your students, your classmates will be very successful. You are not successful. Why is happen? Different efforts, different mind power, different body energy. That's why it happened. That's why we must have, right, proper skill and proper effort all the time in order that we may not regret in the future. If the meditator has excessive efforts, all other factors cannot perform their duties, their functions. So I have already said this one before when we talk about balance and controlling faculties. Faith, Saddha cannot decide the objects. That means when we have very strong and excessive efforts, then faith also cannot decide the objects. Okay. Then not only that, we have many other mental factors. For example, concentration cannot have stability of the mind. There is a wisdom that cannot know the object clearly. All the function will be the difficulty when we have very strong and excessive efforts. Okay, now 11 things lead to the arising of enlightenment factors or energy. You can imagine 11 things. It's too much, right? Today I cannot finish 11 things because it's too much. So maybe I should start the very beginning of the 11. Okay, now. Abhaya Bhaya Pachavakana, reflection on the fearfulness of state of war. That means fearful states. So we were born as a human being. That is why we can meditate. We can also know right and wrong, good and bad. We can also learn everything easily. In modern society, it's easier to learn. There are many classes online. Even there are many Pali classes online. There are many other Sutta class, Vinaya class online. We can study many different things. We can also meditate because we are human beings. So we cannot practice when we are in fearful states, born as animals, born as an ever-hungry ghost, as born in flesh asura, and as in a hell being. Okay, we can practically see animal anywhere around us. Although they live in the monastery, they do not have any knowledge of the Dhamma and they cannot meditate. So briefly, if we were born as an animal, we cannot meditate. We don't know how many times we have been born as an animal in the samsara. At the time, we cannot meditate. Then again, this is the ground for energy. There's also another ground for energy, such as reflections on birth, rebirth, sickness, aging, death, suffering of finding food, suffering in the past, suffering in the future. So when we talk about fear, then we have already said jnana bhaya. The fear produced by wisdom or knowledge. This is called samvega, sense of urgency. Now here, as a reflection on rewards. Actually, we are born as a human being, having a lot of suffering. So since we are born, we are crying. So that we can say how miserable our life is. Then we have many sickness. Everybody has sickness. So when we have sickness, we cannot eat as we like. We cannot sleep as we like. We cannot go as we like. sometimes we have very serious sickness. Then our mind also not that much strong at the time. So when we have very strong sickness, very serious sickness, we cannot meditate. This is also for sense of urgency, aging. Again, now we are growing older and older. Anyway, now we can still carry our body. As long as we can carry our body, we can take care of our body by ourselves. We can meditate. If we are very old, we cannot take care of our body anymore. There may be somebody who assists or who helps us to walk, to stand, to eat, or anything. This is not the time to meditate. So that means we have sickness, but we can still carry our body. We can still take care of our body. That means we can meditate. Although we are growing older and older, we can still take care of our body. That means we can meditate. Similarly, the death is the last moment of our life. After passing away, we cannot know our destination. So if we are born as a human being, we have to restart as a newly born baby. Now we have to learn many different things. Also, we have to start our meditation. If we were born as a divine beings also, there are a lot of enjoyment, a lot of pleasurable things, a lot of sensual enjoyment. We may have more ignorance. If we are born as a Brahma, maybe a little bit better because we can enter into jhana. Another thing, suffering of finding foods. Actually, we just say very simple things. This is the suffering in this present life. So for your surviving, how difficult for you? For example, if you are well educated, it will be easier for you. If you don't have good education, you have to suffer a lot for surviving, for earning. The main thing is, for our daily usage, for our surviving, we have to try very hard. We have to suffer a lot. Sometimes for enjoyment also, we have to work very hard. I just given the same simile many times. Okay, I think you may enjoy New Year's, right? Christmas, New Year's. So to enjoy New Year's, how many days do you prepare? You have to prepare many different things for the event, right? Then how many minutes do you happy in one day? If you calculate exactly, right? Now you are also listening Dhamma talk. Your mind said neither happiness nor unhappiness. Equanimous mind, equanimous feeling. So similarly, when you are preparing, you are not happy. Only sometimes you will be happy. Mostly you prepare with equanimous mind. Then when we enjoy the day, Christmas day, right? Happy New Year's, but you may count down or something. Then how many seconds, how many minutes do you really feel happy? Although we prepare very long time to enjoy that moment, only a few minutes we have enjoyment. More suffering, less enjoyment in our life. That is why, although here I mentioned suffering of finding foods, it also means suffering for surviving, suffering for enjoyment. This also can be considered as ground of sense of urgency. Then suffering in the past, suffering in the future. So sometimes you may worry about your future. You also know some suffering will come in the future. And it be a lot of distress, a lot of depressions. Similarly, for about suffering in the past, you may recall many suffering in the past. Even in this very life, we have suffered a lot. Then, the past lives, We have many past lives. We have suffered many different things in the past life also. So when we recollecting all these types of suffering, we may have sense of urgency. When we have sense of urgency, then it will be supporting cause of efforts or mental energy. Especially, we may be more diligent in meditation. So here, when we talk about Bojjhanga, not only reviewing fourfold states, the suffering in fourfold states, we can also review suffering in present life. So in this way, we can also improve our efforts. So sometimes we are in a hurry, we are in urgent, we may be more diligent. If we don't think it's in urgent, we may not be that much diligent. It depends on pressure also, right? Most people like pressure. Okay, so now we have to move the next one. Oh, what happened? What happened? Okay. 2. Anisamsadasavita, the seeing of the benefit of energy. So sometimes we must know the benefit of effort. Okay, practically in our life, we have to try very hard to achieve something. After achieving something, then we become stronger, we become mature. Even worldly gain, worldly achievements, we need energy. For our supramental state, we may need more energy. So if we wish to attain Nibbana, sure, we must not be lazy. It's not for lazy person. It's just for diligent person. So that's why here I also mentioned supramental state is not for lazy man, but for a diligent man. If we wish to attain supramental attainment, we must be diligent because it's very high level. Even very minor defilements can be hindrances, can be an obstacle. As we have a goal, we must make efforts. Sometimes we have a goal, but we don't want to make efforts. Ability without effort is like a crippled man. Sometimes we have ability, but we don't use our ability. That means all our ability become useless. Sometimes we have efforts, but we don't have ability, we don't have skill. We are also wasting our energy. Okay, now again, those who influence other people have used their mind power to succeed. So that means if we use our mind power to succeed, we can be influential in our community. All the diligent men can be influential in the community. Why the Buddha became very influential? Of course, he's very diligent. That is why he became very influential. Why the Buddha can achieve all types of attainments? He was diligent. That is why he could achieve all types of attainments. So those who have good quality have to build up their quality with the best of their mind power. So that means we have good quality. If we cannot improve, we must maintain. It's also called Vidya, maintaining efforts. Of course, if we can upgrade our ability, if we can improve our ability, it's better. Especially when we have good quality, we must maintain, we must improve. To improve or to maintain, we need our mind power, our mental energy. So the main thing is, if we know the benefits of energy, we may be diligent. As all of us know, the power of money, right? That's why people are trying to earn more money, more money. When they have money, they have power. Then, for example, when you have money, you may be an elephant. Without money, you may be a mouse. Right? That's why this is also power. All the things come from efforts. Mental energy, mind power. That is why if we if we are lazy, we must also try to recall the benefit of energy, the benefit of effort, the benefit of mind power. So if we have all these recollections, we can be diligent. We may be active. We may be eager to practice. So sometimes when you feel lazy or when your mind is not very active, you must remember, you must develop the enlightenment factor of Vidya. By recollecting, I have already mentioned many things, right? By recollecting all the things. Okay, then we also have another one. Samatha-Vipassanā. Reflection on the paths to be trodden. Okay, here in this case, the paths we are trodden, we are going. The Buddha, Bojjhanga Buddha, also Buddha disciples, had gone along this path. So that means we are practicing Noble Eightfold Paths. Buddha also followed the Noble Eightfold Paths. Bojjhanga Buddha also followed the Noble Eightfold Paths. Buddha disciples, arhats, such as Venerable Sariputta, Venerable Mahamoggallana, Venerable Mahakassapa, all of them follow the same path, Noble Eightfold Path. So then in the past also, they just follow the same path. In the present, they are also going along this path. In the future, all the future Buddha, future Bojjhanga Buddha, future Buddha disciples, they will go along this path, not being lazy. So that means the path is a very valuable, high-ranking practice to achieve very high level of knowledge. Even yesterday, I have already talked about this story, right? Pamian Sayadaw and his students. His student approached and asked Pamian Sayadaw what to do to be a good teacher. Sayadaw recommended him to memorize theories. I will talk about niyam, right? That means we have formula. We have many niyam, many theories to analyze Bali Tipitaka. So I have already mentioned, even Shwezang niyam, only one niyam, right? 3 volumes. So there are many other niyam also. When the student says he cannot, Sayadaw replied, what you wish to be and what you can do are totally different, totally opposites. Sometimes we wish to be something, but we don't wish to do. If that's the path, we must go that path. We have aim, but we don't have the way to go there. The modern society say vision and a mission, right? Sometimes we have vision, but no mission. Sometimes we have mission, no vision, right? This is also many people say vision and mission. So the main thing is Gamana Vichi. Okay, if our mission is in Nibbana, sure, we must have vision. We must try to go there. Another is that don't forget what you want to be in the near future. Don't forget what you must do to gain your aim. So if we are practicing to attain jhana, we must do the objects that can produce, that can lead us to jhana. And in 2020 meditation retreats, one lady constantly asking me about jhana. Although she has been practicing a very long time, she cannot attain jhana. What to do? Then I have already answered. I answer, right? Okay, if you wish to attain jhana, you must practice the subject that can lead you to the jhana. such as Anapanasati, Kasina. I have answered one time. She keep asking the same question. Bandi, I have been meditating a very long time. I cannot attain jhana. What to do? You know, that means she cannot understand how to have a guidance. Even she didn't know what to do. She went to attain jhana. When I give suggestion also, she doesn't know what to do. She just keep doing what she was practicing as usual. Then in this way, I think she may take whole life. That she may not improve anymore. Because she's not a good listener. Also, not that much easy to understand. Maybe her knowledge is a little bit far from Buddhism also, maybe. Anyway, the main thing is, when we wish to attain jhana, we must practice the meditation subjects that lead you to jhana. That lead us to the jhana. Similarly, when we wish to attain nibbana, we must practice the meditation subjects that can lead us to attain nibbana. So we must have the aim, the target, the goal, or the ambition. Then we must do for it righteously, correctly. If we are doing the right way or the right path, we can improve faster. If we are in the wrong path, it will take longer. You can practically learn in Buddha's meditation. Bodhisattva has to suffer 6 years because he was in the wrong path. If we are in the right path, it will be faster. Okay, that's why Kamnavati Pachavakana, reflection on the path to be trodden. That means we must not forget our aim. That we must keep doing to achieve as we aim. This is also important. Sometimes we aim very high, but we don't wish to do. We don't wish to make efforts. Then it will be very far from what we wish. Okay, so today I think I should stop here. And I cannot finish all 11. Right? Anyway, efforts is also important in our daily life, not only in our meditation. If we have right efforts, we are doing for the good of ourselves, for the good of our community. Then every single achievement can come from how strong our efforts. So that means if our efforts, our mental energy, bodily energy is strong enough, we can achieve anything we like. May you all be able to practice the Buddha teaching, the 3 trainings. May you all be able to realize final cessation and not suffering.
Sadhu, 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 sadhu. Sadhu, may we proceed to the question and answer? Dear Dhamma brothers and sisters, if you have any question, please raise your hand. Jia Hong will bring the microphone to you. Jia Hong.
Thank you for your beautiful Dhamma talks. Yeah, I have one question regarding the excessive effort.
Mm-hmm.
Could you explain the excessive effort in detail, and also what is the current way to come?
Okay. So it depends on what you are doing. Okay, for example, when you are going to catch small fish with your hands, right? You must use a little bit medium efforts. If you catch with very strong efforts, then the fish will die, right? Okay, it depends on the case you are doing. You may have different ability of efforts, different degree of efforts. When you are meditating, the meditation subject is very subtle. For example, Anapanasati. Naturally, it's very subtle. Also, sometimes you are impatient. You may put many efforts, stronger efforts. Especially, your breath become very subtle. You put very strong efforts, and you will get lost. Your breath will disappear. So sometimes you have just natural breathing, but you put extra efforts, and you may feel tension. For example, you may control breathing. This is also excessive efforts. Then you may feel chest pain and suffocation. So that means every single excessive effort, there's a side effect. You may feel something discomfort in your practice. This is in meditation, okay? But for about daily life, it depends on the case you are doing. You must know which amount of effort you must use, right? For example, catching a mouse and catching an ant, you may have different efforts. Similarly, cleaning the furniture and then cleaning the cups and bowls, you may have different efforts. So you must know which amount of effort you must use. If you use, for example, you are going to like clean the plastic box, for example, right? To grasp with very strong efforts, then it can crash. Right? That's why, okay, in the case of excessive efforts, it depends on the actions you are doing. But in the case of meditation, sure, as long as you make some extra efforts, you may feel discomfort. This is very easy, right? Another one. Okay.
Thank you, Sarah. I have a question for someone wanted to understand about the breathing as well, and it's for me. So there are 4 steps that you taught us in noticing and be mindful of the breathing. The first one is long breath, the second short, the third whole body, the fourth is a subtle breath. Do we practice them systematically with this step accordingly? Or can I just jump to the third one? Like if my breath is subtle, I can just mindfully note it, or do I have to practice accordingly?
Okay. So when we are going to study the suttas, okay, I should talk about the order of different types of orders, right? Okay, in this case, we can say Pavatikama. Pavatikama means the order of horizon. The order of horizon means in the very beginning, you have very long breaths because you are doing many different things, right? So gradually, your breath will be very subtle. Then after that, you can also know whole breath body. When your mind becomes stronger, when your awareness becomes stronger, finally your breath becomes very subtle. Okay, these are the order of horizon. We can say that, right? So we have different order: the order of horizon, the order of discourse, the order of practice. So, okay, in the case of practice, you must follow natural breathing. When you have short breaths, just focus short breaths. When you have long breaths, focus on the long breaths. Okay? So, of course, in the very beginning, you must follow all the order. It will arise orderly. That's why you must follow the order. Gradually, when you experience many different things, when you are an experienced meditators, we cannot say it will arise orderly. From time to time, your breath will become very subtle. Okay, try to know subtle breaths. Sometimes you may have very long breathing. Okay, just keep knowing long breaths. Sometimes short breaths, just keep knowing short breaths. Okay, it depends on what you have in current conditions. You have to follow or you have to focus on it naturally. Okay?
Yes, Sarah.
Okay, another thing?
And as for the noting, should I note like breathe in, or I just mentally know the beginning and the end of the breathing? I don't have to totally note it, like using my mind.
Okay. If you have habits of noting, it's also okay. You can note anyway. For example, like even in counting, right? You can count in breath and out breath. For example, in breath, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and you can finish in and out one pair, one set, right? You can do in, out, something which is possible. 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, also okay. You can do it any different ways. But if you can know the breathing without noting, without counting, it's better. Okay?
Any more questions from the participant?
Yes, I have a few more to help my friend as well, if that's okay. So for some of us, like we have some lower self-esteem. For example, I have nimitta, but it's not strong enough. And then how can they counteract such subtle thoughts to help them improve better in their meditation? Thank you, Sadhu.
Okay, sure. This is also like a, remorse, similar to remorse. Be careful, right? Actually, we should not be in a hurry. This one is a very subtle thing, also training minds. If we are in a hurry, we may put extra efforts, excessive efforts. It will get worse. Sometimes we expect too much. It's also a kind of greed. Greed is also hindrances. One of the hindrances. It can hinder our improvement. I give one example. Venerable Anuruddha and Venerable Sariputta. They discussed something about the Dhamma. Venerable Anuruddha reported Venerable Sariputta, I have very bright lights. I'm also practicing diligently. I cannot attain higher attainments. So at that time he was Sotapanna. That's why he said he cannot attain higher attainments. The Venerable Sariputta replied, you said you have very bright lights. That means it's a mana, pride. This is also one of the obstacles. Second one, I'm also very diligent. That means you have restlessness. That means if you are very diligent, if you have put very strong effort, you have restlessness. That's why this is also one of the hindrances. Then you also say, then I cannot attain higher attainments. This is remorse. This is also hindrances. Okay? So that is why when you have this kind of things, just change the topic. Don't think about nimitta or any other thing. If you can keep knowing breathing, just keep knowing breathing. Okay? Sometimes expectation is also greed, hindrances. Remorse also hindrances. Pride also hindrances. That is why, although you have very subtle defilements, subtle hindrances, it can hinder your improvement. Okay? So whenever you have this kind of mindset, change the topic. Okay, go back to the meditation subject. Okay? Any other thing?
Yes. And as for diligence that you were teaching earlier, is it better to practice with strong effort to maintain equanimity feelings? Or should I have a lot of joy and excitement? So what kind of feeling should a well-trained yogi maintain and prosper in to have a maintained effort to achieve our goal?
Okay. So actually every single quality also have side effects. We must be very careful. For example, if you have very strong efforts, then it also causes restlessness. We must be very careful, right? But similarly, if you have very strong bliss, very strong peacefulness, our mind also like pleasant feeling. When your mind follow pleasant feeling too much, your effort become weaker and weaker. Okay? So that means it depends on the situation you have. There will be different way of handling. For example, sometimes you may have many thoughts unknowingly. That means you have very weak efforts. You have to put a little bit more efforts to overcome it. Sometimes your mind become very blurred. Then that means you have very weak efforts. You have to make a little bit more efforts to maintain. Okay, the main thing is, if you have maintaining efforts, you can improve easily. If you try to improve too much, then it will get worse. Okay? In current situations, you try to have more maintaining efforts. That means you must have ability to maintain your concentration. If you can maintain well, you will become skillful. Then you will improve naturally. Okay? Then
Just have one more question before I can get to the other. So during the meditation retreat, if there's such a flash of thought of disrespect, it's just defilement, that just a recurrence, and it disappear right away. If I don't dwell on it, then should I ask for forgiveness, or I can just note it? Because I heard one story of the past. There was this man, he looked at an arahant. He said, oh, I wish I have a wife like that, so beautiful. And suddenly he changed into a woman.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So how do we
Okay.
prevent ourselves from having negative thoughts or defilement thoughts toward a respected teacher or somebody with higher like virtues and things like that? Thank you, Sir.
Okay, so in this case, you can ask for forgiveness. It doesn't matter, right? It's easier, right? So that means mentally, sure, our mind is like silly, crazy. Any negative thoughts can arise in our minds. This is the normal, right? So anyway, in your case, if you can ask for forgiveness, is good enough. You don't need to think about many other things. Okay, then any other thing?
Dạ con kính đảnh lễ ngài, dạ con kính đảnh lễ sư phụ. Dạ hồi nãy ngài nói đó là khi mà mình bệnh á, thì mình cần tinh tấn nhiều hơn. Nhưng mà làm sao mà mình làm được như vậy? Khi mình bệnh á, thì cái tâm mình nó cũng thấy cảm như là bệnh theo. Thì con muốn hỏi ngài là làm sao để mình tách rời cái thân và cái tâm ra, để khi mình bệnh mình thấy cái thân mình bệnh thôi, nhưng mà cái tâm mình nó vẫn mạnh mẽ. Nghĩa là khi mà cũng như là khi mà bệnh hoặc là đến khi lúc chết á, thì mình làm sao mà mình làm được là thân đau mà tâm không đau. Dạ con cảm ơn sư phụ. Dạ.
Okay, in the case of the efforts, actually, as soon as your concentration becomes stronger, you must be able to maintain. It doesn't mean you have to put very strong efforts to improve, right? So maintain. I always said maintain efforts. Okay, I should say a practical approach, right? For example, your concentration becomes stronger. You have a lot of calmness, quietness, tranquility. Then, if you cannot maintain your concentrations, then you may fall asleep, or your mind become blur. That's why maintain efforts. Maintain effort means you can remind yourself to keep doing breathing. Whenever you have very strong tranquility, rapture, and joy, you must have more consistent awareness. You must have more consistent efforts. Otherwise, you cannot maintain. Okay. So in brief, if you have maintaining efforts, whatever improvements you can maintain, then gradually you will improve. Okay. Another thing is for our near-death moment. Actually, if we have habits of living with wholesome thoughts, wholesome states, we don't need to worry about near-death moments. If we have many bad habits of unwholesome speech, unwholesome thoughts, unwholesome actions, sure, it will be a little bit difficult for us. So as long as we have wholesome minds most of the time, our mind is strong enough. Okay? The next one.
Any more questions from the participant?
Yes, I just came. Actually, I want to learn this breath method, and I want to know actually, and we can pay attention to the breath in and breath out from our nostril, but my attention and more likely when I meditate and focus on my lower stomach, and I can feel the breath in and breath out there. Is that feasible?
Actually, we should follow the Pali text, right? And when Pali text mention Parimukkham Satyantapetawa, Parimukkham, it should be around face, around the nostril, right? So when we talk about Parimukkham, we have two definitions. Mukha nimitta and nasikaka. Okay, for example, Parimukkham Satyantapetawa, they mention Mukha nimittewa, nasikakewa, we have this kind of statement, this kind of definition. That's why it should be around the nostril or in the upper lip, around our mouth, right? So Buddha teacher recommend to focus on the abdomen. There will be side effects when you focus on the abdomen. For example, you may be able to see the light, but you cannot see the nimitta. I come from that tradition, I know, right? Before I came to Powder, I have been in that monastery. I also focus on the abdomen. Then you can see the light, but you cannot see the nimitta. Although you meditate many months, it will be the same. But if you can focus on the breathing around the nostril, you can see the light, you can also see the nimitta. Two different effects, okay? Any other questions?
Thank you so much. So it says that don't forget what you want to be in the near future. Don't forget what you must do to gain your aim. But I think the aim is usually imposed by society. Like we have a lot of social obligations to fulfill. So how can we really find the aim that we feel true about?
Okay. So that means time management, right? So for example, if we wish to read, we can make our time, our spare time to read. It depends on our willingness also, right? Okay. Actually, I also have many similar questions come to me. Then when I ask people, do you wish to earn money? They say yes. Do you wish to attain Nibbana? They also say yes. Question, do you prefer Nibbana or money? They may say Nibbana. But how do you share your time? How do you spend your time? Do you spend your time for money or do you spend your time for Nibbana? Right? This is a big questions. Mostly, if we are interested in Nibbana, sure, we may set our time. We may schedule our time. We may manage our time for Nibbana, right? So the main thing is it depends on how you manage your time. Another thing is, if you are busy with many other daily activities, we cannot expect very high quality, right? So I have said many times to many different people, worthy life and a peaceful life, we cannot get two things at the same time. If you wish to be worthy, you have to be busy. If you wish to be peaceful, you must not be busy with many different things. The two different things, right? Okay, another thing is contentment. Just for surviving, if we have enough properties, is it good enough? If we have contentment, we may have more spare time. Then we may have more time to meditate. Okay? It depends on how you manage your time. It's possible. Okay? I cannot know your condition. That's why I can just advise very minor things. Okay? Any other question?
So I have a question for the difference between, let's say, when I'm thinking about the life is short, when I'm thinking about I can die anytime, I feel the power is there that I want to work harder on the meditation, that I want to learn more about that. And I feel pretty positive in that sense. However, if I think like when I'm working, if I think this work could fail, like if I don't work hard enough, I cannot submit it on time. It seems like both have something, right? Like could be die, and then it triggers some positive thing to really push forward the efforts. And then if I focus on like the possibility of failure, they seems to be all like different goals that trigger some effort. But why the previous one lead to some positive feeling, but the later one lead to the negative feeling, like the stress?
Sure, I see. Okay. We have one saying. When you are going to earn money, you must work as if you will never die. When you are going to practice to attain Nirvana, you must practice as if you will die today or tomorrow. Okay? Two different parts. So that's why Buddha also say, to earn is another way. To attain Nirvana is another way. There are two different ways. We cannot use the same formula for two different ways. Okay? Anything?
Any more questions from the participant? Yes, Sarah, can we proceed to read some questions from the chat group?
Okay.
Okay.
顶礼尊者，昨日尊者讲了如何平衡七觉知。我在静坐时练了一下，当觉知不到呼吸时，就在触点等待呼吸，放松身体。当呼吸明显时，就放松身体和心，提醒自己不要再用心力了，松一点专注力。当身体松软有轻安喜的感觉，就提醒自己不要管这些感觉，提醒自己用一些心力专注呼吸。我感觉在自己专注所缘的时间不长、不稳定时，一整坐中，就在随着触点、呼吸、身心的不同变化，不断的在调整自己专注力。有时需要用一点心力，有时需要放松一点自己的心力。请问尊者，这样操作对吗？沙度沙度沙度。
Okay, for about relax. If you relax too much, also not really very good, right? So we should say medium effort. Okay, in your case, sometimes you have very sad breaths. If you're trying to know very much in detail, then you will get lost. Okay, as you say in the very beginning, sometimes when your breath disappears, you can wait on the touching point. In this case, okay, not really good problem. Okay, so that means you also have to save energy, more natural efforts. It will be getting better. Okay, next one.
Montami Siado, we try to follow teacher's instruction, but sometimes we may get the opposite meaning of the teacher's instruction. What's the cause and how should we do to overcome such condition? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Actually, it depends on how you listen also, right? Another thing, maybe you may have different background knowledge. This is also one of the reasons. That's why sometimes you misunderstand something. For example, emptiness, right? Many people also talk about emptiness, but they have different meaning according to their understanding of their background. So in this case, you must learn the teacher's tradition also. For example, when teacher is talking about sutta, okay, you must learn sutta also. Okay? If you can understand sutta properly, then you may not have this kind of misunderstanding or wrong understanding. So the main thing is, as long as it's not opposite, but nobody sees as opposite, it doesn't matter, right? But if totally serious, quite opposite, so it will be very, very risky for your practice. So in this case, we should say more learning, more questioning, and you understand clearly. Okay, next one.
Next question is a Chinese question.
顶礼西亚多，请问老师，刚才老师有提到导向涅槃的道路，什么是导向涅槃的道路？如何长期能保持走在导向涅槃的道路上？萨嘟萨嘟萨嘟。
Okay, if we summarize, the way leading to Nibbana means no eightfold paths, right? So if you are keep practicing the eightfold paths, then we can say you are leading to Nibbana. If you are practicing opposite of no eightfold paths, that means you are not leading to the Nibbana, going to the Nibbana. So if we summarize another way, Sila Samadhi Panya, right? If we summarize no eightfold paths, it can be morality, concentration, and wisdom. As long as you are trying for these three, that means you are right. You are going to Nibbana. You are leading to Nibbana. Okay? Next one.
Next question. Wonder me, Sayadaw, in the teaching, did the Buddha specifically talk about cultivating integrity and honesty? Is white lies considered as musavada?
These are also common questions, right? Okay, white lie also can be considered as a musavada, but we have good intention. That's why it's not akusala, right? That means this is allowable musavada, but because of white lie, you're gonna be reborn in the hell. Okay, we call in Pali Valanchaka musavada in Pali, right? Valanchaka musavada means sometimes you are in danger. That's why you tell a lie to save your life. Similarly, somebody is in danger, you save his life or her life, you may tell a lie, something. In this case, it's beneficial for somebody. You can have somebody, you can save somebody's life. That's why in this case, we can say Valanchaka musavada. In this kind of case, it's allowable musavada. Okay?
The next question is a Vietnamese question.
Actually, as long as you have the accommodation to live, as long as you have a shelter, and we can say it's correct, it doesn't matter, right? For example, you must not live on the tree, right? You must spend one hour on the tree. This kind of things is prohibited. So there are many other places. So the main thing is if you know good shelter, you're gonna spend one hour there. Okay, if you have good shelter, you can spend one hour there. What about other things? For example, like a good friends, good teacher, all the things is for your improvement. It's not concerning who is winning. Okay.
Okay, Sarah, we don't have any more question, and it is like 6 minutes past 8:30. So, any more question, brother?
Yes, Saro, I just have one last question about a meditator that around 60 or 70 years old. How would you teach them to spend their time wisely? For example, study Dhamma, Abhidhamma, or practice more on meditation?
Okay. So for like listening to the Dhamma is possible for them also, right? If they have habit of listening to the Dhamma, learning Dhamma actually not that easy for them also. But like listening to the Dhamma, meditation, as long as they spend their time with the Dhamma, is good enough, right? For example, if they have to sit very long time, sure their body is not so strong enough. So from time to time, listen to the Dhamma talk. We have many Dhamma talks in the YouTube or anywhere, right? So sometimes you can meditate. So she can set her own timetable. Then she can follow her own timetable. It will be easier for her. So if you have too much pressure, it's not really very good for all people. Okay? Any other thing?
Okay. Thank you, Sarah. Sarah, we don't have any more questions. So thank you, Sarah, for your valuable teachings today, and thank you, our interpreter Bante, for the translation. May we invite Sarah to lead us in making aspiration and sharing of merits.
Hello?
Hello, Sarah, can you hear us?
Huh? Why?
Sarah?
Hello?
Hello, Sarah, can you hear us?
Okay.
May Sarah lead us in making aspiration and sharing of merits.
Okay.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Etavadaja amehi sambadam punya sambadam sabbe devanumodandu sabbe buddhanumodandu sabbe sattanumodandu sabba sambati siriya idame nyatinam hotu sukhita hondu nyatiyo idame nyatinam hotu sukhita hondu nyatiyo idame nyatinam hotu sukhita hondu nyatiyo idame punyam asawakaya waham hotu idame punyam Nibbanasa Bhajayo Hodu Mama Punya Bhagam Sabba Sadanam Bhajami Te Sabe Me Samam Punya Bhagam Lavandu Sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, Sarah, and everyone for your time and participation. Tomorrow there will be interview for group 1 at 3:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. Okay, till we meet again the next session, may all be well and happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.